J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois, has threatened to prosecute ICE agents for misconduct. Define misconduct, and when you start to have this conversation, you go, he's not talking about misconduct. He's saying what you are doing, we view as misconduct. So the question I have for all of you, my friends, is civil war. Answer the question. Now, everybody jokingly likes to say it's an absurd notion. But I made this argument already a long time ago that the path we are on, and most of you know this, but the argument in specific that I'd like to refer to here is Gavin Newsom passed a law, or California passed a law, Gavin Newsom signed it, saying that federal agents cannot wear masks in California. Come January 1st, they must remove their masks. The first question I asked is, what do you think will happen to federal law enforcement in these areas if they remove their masks? The typical response is they will be doxxed, harassed, and threatened. And that's why they must wear their masks. If they are doxxed, what comes next? Most people say someone's going to kill them. Someone's going to show up to their houses, terrorize, or kill them and their families. Indeed, that seems to be the principal argument as to why they must wear masks. Now, the question then becomes, with this new law in place in California, will Gavin Newsom enforce this law against federal law enforcement, threatening them with misdemeanor criminal charges? Most people have told me no, he wouldn't do it. Why? Why wouldn't he do it? They already arrested Trump twice. They arrested Trump's lawyers. What makes you think they won't arrest federal law enforcement? In California, in Portland, in Chicago, I should say in Oregon and Illinois, the states, moves are being made to criminally charge federal law enforcement officers. That is, the states are preparing to use the threat of violent force against federal law enforcement officers. How else would you do it? You're going to go up to a cop, a Fed, and you're going to say, you're under arrest. That's what J.B. Pritzker is threatening to do. Threatening to prosecute ICE agents. I believe they can. I believe they will make these attempts. What happens in these states when Donald Trump sends in federal law enforcement to enforce the law, as he was elected to do, and state police in Illinois try to arrest DHS? Or in California, California state troopers try to arrest DHS. These DHS guys, they live in Illinois and California and Oregon. They live there. Some of them are being shipped in from other places to assist, but many of them live there. What happens when they get arrested? Trump would likely invoke the Insurrection Act and deploy the National Guard. Unfortunately for Trump, he was told already by a judge he can't deploy the National Guard. He would have to do that in defiance of a federal court order. You tell me what it's called when states are arresting federal law enforcement agents who are enforcing the law. California, in Los Angeles, they declared a state of emergency. LA County has declared a state of emergency over these ICE raids. Tell me what you call it. Maybe you don't want to call it a civil war. That's fine. But we are looking at right now the governor threatening Trump's federal law enforcement with arrest. California and Oregon are doing the exact same. We've already gotten reports that police are being instructed to compile data on federal agents for criminal charges. 3 criminal investigations are already underway in the Chicago suburbs targeting federal law enforcement. Tell me why, in the comments right now, you think Illinois will not pursue these charges against these cops. The investigations are happening. The reports are already out. We know it's happening. Pritzker is saying he's threatening to do it anyway. Tell me why you think they stop short. Honestly, I mean this in serious. I'm serious. For those that don't believe they will make those arrests, comment. Tell me the story. The Post-Millennial reports. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker suggested on Sunday that state prosecutors may look into the actions of Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, drawing sharp rebuke from the Department of Homeland Security. In an interview with Fox 32, Pritzker said he's been in talks with the state's attorney general and local prosecutors about how to respond to supposed misconduct. We're talking to the state's attorneys and attorney general to see how they can go at this, because what we want to make sure is they follow the law. Where are we at? A federal judge has already stated that these law enforcement agents cannot, the feds, use tear gas or riot control munitions without 2 warnings. Since this ruling, they have already used riot control munitions without warning. Locals have argued this is a violation of the court order. Why would they not prosecute these men? Pritzker will come out and say it's clear as day They didn't issue the warning. It's a violation of the court. We are going to go after them for misconduct. And show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Come on, they charge Trump under false pretenses. They'll make it up, right? They will apply whatever law they have. And they'll say a federal judge said you can't do this. They are acting outside of the law, so we're going to call it assault, right? Pritzker said that accountability could come later, if not now. The tables will turn one day. These people should recognize that maybe they're not going to get prosecuted today, although we are looking at doing that. But they may get prosecuted after the Trump administration because the statute of limitations would not have run out. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin hit back and condemned the governor's remarks, calling them disgusting. In a statement to Newsweek, she said, Governor Pritzker threatening to prosecute law enforcement for enforcing the law and arresting murderers, pedophiles, rapists, drug traffickers, and gang members is disgusting. He smeared our law enforcement, calling them thugs. But to millions of Americans, including those victimized by criminal illegal aliens, they are heroes. She added that Pritzker's rhetoric was directly contributing to domestic terrorists attacking our brave law enforcement and warned that he is going to get someone killed with his trash. The comments come as Illinois remains in the Trump administration's focus during Operation Midway Blitz, a massive ICE enforcement push targeting illegal immigration in large cities. Chicago in particular has seen increased tensions between federal agents and illegals and officials and civilians protecting illegals. Federal agencies have denied claims of racial profiling, but continue to face scrutiny over aggressive raids and enforcement tactics. Critics say those operations have inflamed fears among immigrants and strained community relations. Pritzker, considered by some as a 2028 Democratic presidential contender, said in the Fox interview that the president was escalating political tension nationwide. This is a dangerous time. The president of the United States is causing mayhem in the grounds of our state. He's going after his political opponents. I don't know why anyone would look at the situation and not recognize he's moving toward an authoritarian regime in his own image. I can say the same thing of Democrats and how they arrested Trump's lawyers, targeting basically everybody, Trump supporters. We get it. Here's my fear. Where are we currently at? There have been three rammings, and there have been 2 additional vehicle attacks. In Chicago, there have been 3 rammings and 1 vehicle attack. 1 was in Florida. So let's just stick to Chicago. DHS was attempting to arrest an illegal immigrant. They hit him with the car and then dragged them. And I believe this agent shot the illegal immigrant driver. In the rammings, one of the agents got out of the car and fired, striking a far-left extremist female. Bounties have been placed on DHS in Chicago, basically everywhere, but Chicago gangs have been offered upwards of $50,000 to kill DHS. The far left and other illegal immigrants who are now occupying the city have surrounded and lobbed objects, rocks, or otherwise at DHS. When they responded with tear gas, the government attacked these ICE agents, saying they were in violation of a court order. There have already been shootings. We stand on the precipice, staring into oblivion. At any moment, we could get what would be described as the first Battle of Chicago. Sounds crazy, right? When we look back on this period, historically, it will be condensed. They will say Trump was elected and then began immigration enforcement in various cities, such as Chicago. Local government resisted. Courts stopped Trump and the agents from defending themselves. They forced them to remove barricades, stopped the deployment of National Guard. It will be a single paragraph. This was followed up by terror attacks, vehicle rammings. You'll read it in a single blip, despite for the rest of us it taking months or years to reach this point. At any moment right now, DHS could be serving a warrant or tracking down a lead. Gang members, seeing an opportunity because Chicago police have been ordered not to respond, will open fire on ICE trying to kill these men to collect a bounty from the cartels, thinking they'd get away with it. Why? CPD won't respond. There will be limited evidence, and far-left extremists will support the actions. I fear gradual, then sudden escalation. What we've seen over the past couple of weeks is actually rather startling escalation. Again, 3 vehicle rammings, 2 shooting incidents. The barricades were removed. The protests are coming on Saturday, which likely will devolve into riots. I hope not. Maybe I'm wrong. What is separating us right now from CBP hiding behind barricades in an active gunfight with armed gang members and extremists. Many of you may be saying that won't happen. They've already rammed them in vehicles 3 times in the past month. Seriously, like it will not happen is they shot up Tesla facilities with rifles. They went to Tesla dealerships and unloaded on the buildings. Now there's a $50,000 bounty on these guys? What is the reason why you think it would not happen? Now, I'll give you mine. There needs to be a catalyzing incident. But at any moment, any one of these instances could ignite. What would you call it? If you here's the fear scenario. And I have a lot of predictions that potentially I say won't come true, right? However, many of them have frighteningly come close. CBP, DHS, ICE, they go out to arrest some guys. A gunshot goes off. They take cover. Gang members are now pinning down 3 or 4 ICE agents who call for backup. Chicago police are instructed to stay clear. They got rammed in a vehicle and police were instructed to steer clear. Latin Kings were then ordered by high-ranking gang members to go to that area and secure it. That already happened. This scenario I present is a similar one. But now they're being shot at because these guys are like, we're going to get paid. And what's a shooting to a Chicago gang member? They do it all the time. Far-left extremists then hear Chicago police are shooting at undocumented immigrants, or they push that rumor to lie. Many extremists then show up to lend aid to the gangs, who they say are just migrants defending their community from fascists. Don Lemon told people to buy guns for use against ICE. You see that story I put up just a moment ago? This scenario is a very, very real possibility. I hope it doesn't happen, seriously. But all of the things that could lead us to this moment have already occurred. There is no more wall between us and this moment, just a thin membrane. When the Chicago officer got rammed, got out and shot that woman, nothing was stopping this escalation. Gang members shooting back. It just didn't reach that point. It could have. That's where we're standing right now. With the government coming out and threatening ICE agents, these gang members are going to be like, listen, if anything does happen, you get caught, self-defense. Who's going to prosecute you? Armed thugs were trying to kidnap my family members. You get paid 50 G's, these gangs are going to look after you, and the extremists will too. The apparatus, the confidence, the infrastructure, the legal system is lining up in Illinois to protect those who would attack law enforcement. Pritzker saying it, plain as day. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I'm wrong. Smash the like button, share the show, stay tuned. More to come throughout the day. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all in the next, I think the next one's going to be, Timcast IRL. We'll see you there.